So yeah, so we are recording. So yeah, I will go over some things to wrap up this term, and then we'll talk a little bit about next term as well. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And I've got a little PowerPoint we'll start with. Okay, so we are here, week 10. Wrapping things up. I do want to say nice job to all of you on the dental materials lab final. Everyone did really well. There's a couple people that that did not do as well in the final, and you guys know who you are. I've reached out to you, and I will just say, like, the reason a lot of people ended up losing points in anything was really because even if you did great on the final, a lot of the reason people lost points was simply just not following instructions or not looking at the details of the instructions. And this is something I always tend to pay really close attention to. And I just want to highlight it really fast, is that, like, a lot of people got marked down for removing 3 sutures instead of 2 sutures. Like, the instructions said remove 2 sutures. And so I know you guys removed 3 when we did a practice in class, but that's just part of, like, making sure you're reading the instructions and looking at those details. And why that's important is because, you know, in dentistry, you know, we're working in people's mouths. We need to be paying attention to those details. So not just specifically when we're removing or placing sutures, but things like if you're going to be working on a tooth and you're going to be working on tooth number 2, you know, you really need to pay attention that we're working on number 2, and remember that when you're working with the patient, know what tooth that is, because, you know, if mistakes can happen, and we want to not have mistakes happen. So when you're in class, when I'm having you read and pay attention to directions, it's because in real life, you're going to have to read and pay attention to the patient's chart and the schedule and the instructions for how to use a product correctly. So I really try to emphasize that. I think in school, it's a little bit different in class because you tend to kind of just do things the same way you've always done them. So it's like, in class, we removed 3 sutures. So for the final, some of your brains just went to, oh, I'm supposed to remove 3 because that's what we did for practice. But it's really just stepping back and taking a closer look at those directions. Same thing with not showing me your alginate impression. The instruction said, show the instructor your alginate impression before you pour it up. And there were some people that didn't do that. And I tried to remind everyone. I said it when I went over, like, the instructions on, like, you know, this is how the timing is going to go. This is how the process is going to go. And I know in the final, you kind of get in your head and stress comes into play and things like that. But it's really just like slowing down, taking your time, making sure you're reading those things. So I just wanted to put that out there. I think a couple people emailed me asking me to see their grading rubric. I will absolutely provide that for you. If you want to see your grading rubric, please send me an email. I have them all on campus. So I will be back on campus on Friday when we have clinic cleanup. So I'll look through my emails that day. And then anybody that wants to see the rubric, I will send you pictures of the rubric on Friday. So just let me know, and then I'll get back to you, but I won't be sending them to you unless you request it. I sent you guys an email that all of your grades for our dental materials lab are posted. So I posted your final grade as well as your grade for the final, as well as your final adjusted grade for the class. So the final adjusted grade that's in D2L is what I'll be posting to PCC next week. So if you have any questions about your grade, just reach out to me and let me know. But everybody's grade is up to date in there. Before I start talking about the lecture classes, are there any questions about the lab or the final or? Cool. Okay. Well, let's talk about dental materials lecture. So we kind of reviewed this last week during this Zoom time, but we are wrapping things up. Everything is open for this class. So your practice final exam has been open. So you got to get a 70% on that in order to open the final. And then your final exam is open, and that's not due until March 25th, which is the end of finals week. But you can feel free, if you have time and you feel like it, go in and get that done early. Yes, so that's open and that's ready to go. In integrated basic science, we need to finish up the week 9 and 10 module. So the only thing you have to complete in that class and turn in is quiz number 5. That's due next Monday, the 21st. And then you've got your final exam review. And again, you've got to get 70% on that in order to open the final. And then your final is due end of finals week on the 25th as well. You have to do quiz number 5 and the final exam review in order for the final exam to open. I just want to make sure that that quiz 5 gets done before you do the final. So we're just wrapping that class up as well. Are there any questions about the lecture classes? I think I've got one more critical thinking. I think it's for dental materials, if I'm not mistaken, that I need to grade that closed yesterday. So I'll go in and get that done ASAP. So those grades are posted, but I think everyone's doing well. If I haven't reached out to you, you're probably doing well, but feel free to always go in and make sure to check your grades in these classes before you go into the final, just to kind of see where you're at. But I think we're all doing good. So yeah, we'll get these wrapped up and we will be on to spring break. All right, so let's talk a little bit about spring term. So I will be giving you more information on spring term, during week 1, but I want to kind of give you a heads up about some things about these classes that you should know prior to going into week 1. So I teach 2 classes to you guys spring term. I teach DA 116, the whole patient, and then I teach DA 135, which is dental materials 3 lab. So I want to talk about 116 first. So this course, it's called the whole patient. I have never taught this course before, but I'm excited about it. I like teaching new things. So I haven't taught it before. It's going to be a fully online class, so it will be totally online. The lectures for this class were recorded by someone else, so they're not recorded by me. I have not watched them all. I'm probably going to try to watch some of them just so I can get a feel for it. But this class is going to run just like all your other online lecture courses have run. So same type of stuff, discussion posts, quizzes, lectures, just the same old thing. This is a 2-term class, so the amount of work for it is on the heavier side. There is no Zoom session required for this class. So that's different than what I've been doing this term and last term. So right now, this is our required session for my lecture classes. I am not having any required Zoom session next term. What I'm going to do is you do have a time on your schedule that's dedicated to this class. I'm going to use that as an optional advising time that you can sign up for. So it'll be time slots each week, and you will be able to sign up for those. If you want to talk to me about this class, really about any class, you can sign up for a time to meet with me at that time. So I'm going to post some details about how to do that on the D2L page for this class, but I just wanted to give you that heads up that there's no required time for this class. So let me show you, I want to show you something here. Okay, so this is your block schedule for spring term. And so you'll see that on Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock, that's where the time slot is for DA 116. It says it's a remote class and it runs the whole term. So it's a whole term class. So this time slot, this 3 o'clock on Mondays, you don't have to do anything. So it's on the schedule because it has to be on the schedule, but you are not required to do anything at this time. You can just pretend this isn't even here. But what I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to make this an advising time, and that's optional. So if you want to meet with me, I'll tell you how to do that, and you can schedule time with me during that time. I figured, one, you're going to be doing this class online anyway, so I don't want to take up a bunch of your time making you come to a Zoom session. But also, on Mondays in the morning for the first 6 weeks of the term, you're going to be on campus all morning in lab classes. And so I don't want to make you have to rush home and get on Zoom. I'd rather you just take that time and use it how you want to. So there's nothing you're required to do in the afternoon for that class. This is going to stay on the schedule because it has to, but I just want to make sure that's clear that you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be there. Are there any questions about that? Cool. Okay. All right, so yeah, so it's just going to be an online class, no required Zoom time. And once the class opens up spring term, there'll be more information about it. And yeah, we can talk about it and you can ask questions once spring term starts. So then I want to talk about DA 135, which is Dental Materials 3 Lab. So with this class, this is technically a lab class. We don't have a dental materials lecture for spring term, it's just lab. With this class, we only meet in person twice. So I meet with red group twice, yellow group twice, blue group twice. That's all on your color block schedule, which I'm not going to pull it up on the computer. Maybe you can see this, but this is, you guys have this, it's on your homeroom, but this is the schedule. So this is our color group schedule. So we meet twice. And we meet for, we're scheduled for 4 hours each time. This class, it's a 2-credit class. So meeting with you twice for lab doesn't fulfill the requirement for like how much work you're supposed to do. So there's other things that count for your time in this class. So what they are to get you to the 2-credit amount of time. Yes, we meet for lab in person 2 times, you know, that's on your schedule, like I just said. Then your externship counts for some of that time because you are doing dental materials work while you're at your externship. You know, you're going to be mixing materials, pouring up models, taking impressions. Like you will be doing dental materials stuff at your externship. So part of that kind of counts for this class. You have a couple externship evaluations that you have to have filled out at your externship. Those count for a grade in this class. And then what you also have are you have assignments. So you have outside of class assignments that have to be done for this class. So that's why I want to talk about this, because in the past, dental materials lab, you didn't have to do anything outside of class. Everything was done in the lab. So once you leave lab, you know, you kind of don't have to think about it aside from just, you know, being prepared for lab and studying a little bit. So this class requires actual assignments to be done. There's a D2L page for this class where you're going to have to do discussions and submit things. So I want to make sure that that's really clear, that you guys know that this class is not just come to lab 2 times and you're done. There's work that has to be done for this class, and that's what gets you the 2-credit credits for this class. There is a big assignment week 1 that you have to do. And so based on our schedule, you know, our block schedule, on week 1, I meet with blue group, but I don't meet with red or yellow group. So I'm not going to have a chance in person to talk to you during week 1. So unless I talk to you now and like email you and get you this information, there's some of you would miss the fact that there is this big assignment. So we're talking about it now. I'm recording this. I'm going to post it. I'm going to email you. So there is no excuse. Everyone knows that there's this big assignment week 1. So this big assignment involves your attendance at the conference. So you guys all know, and you guys all registered for the conference. It's on Friday of week 1 of spring term. We're all going to go. I'm going to be there. I'll take attendance. I'm going to check you guys in. You guys are going to go to your class. You guys are going to go check out the exhibit hall and look at all the vendors. So everyone's going to go to the conference. Part of that experience is that you are going to have an assignment for this dental materials lab course that's tied to the conference. Peggy and Sandy may or may not have assignments for you to do based on the conference as well, but this is my assignment. So while you're at the conference, and this is just like a general overview, I will send you all the details about this assignment. But basically what I have you do is you have to go to the exhibit hall, which again, it's where there's like booths with all different vendors. So there's, you know, dental materials companies, you know, like dental office company, like Willamette Dental will have a booth, Kaiser will have a booth, General Dental will have a booth. Equipment companies like the company ADEC that makes like our dental chairs, they'll be there. It's actually super, super fun. And it's especially when you're new to the dental industry, it can be a little overwhelming, but in a really fun, good way. But anyway, you're going to have to go to the exhibit hall. And what I ask you to do is while you're in the exhibit hall, you have to basically find 2 things that interest you. One has to be a dental material and one has to be a piece of dental equipment. So you have to pick 2 things that you see at the conference, and then you have to write a paper about them. So I will give you more information about this with all the details. I'm not going to do that today, but I just want you to be aware that this assignment is out there. So you'll go to the conference on that Friday, and then you'll have a week to do the assignment and turn it in, and you'll just submit it on D2L. So again, I will give you more details about this, but I just wanted to give you that heads up that there is an assignment, and yeah, there's going to be things that have to get done. Okay, so now I want to show you, before I ask for questions, I want to give you a little bit more information about this class. So I'm going to show you the syllabus. I will be sending you the syllabus very soon, but right now we're just going to do a quick look at it. So this is the dental materials syllabus 135, 2-credit class. Again, we only meet on Mondays 2 times. So each group meets 2 times. This is the assignment list and things that you're going to have to complete and what your grade is going to be based on for this class. So you have assignments. These are things you're going to hand in. You have what I just discussed, which is called the ODA assignment. This is actually 50 points. It's a pretty big assignment. So you have an ODA assignment, which is worth 50 points. You have 2 assignments that are, I call them a survey of dental materials, and there's a part 1 and part 2. Those, all 3 of these assignments together are worth 40% of your total grade. So almost half of your grade is just these 3 larger assignments. Then you have discussions, and these will be just like, kind of like your discussions that you do now, and they'll be on D2L. The difference in these discussions is that everyone has the same questions. So the study model discussion is basically going to be you comparing in your externship office, how do they pour up study models? Like, what's their process? And how does that differ from what we taught you at PCC? And then the same thing with temporary crowns. What does your externship office do for temporary crowns? How do they fabricate them? Who fabricates them? What's that process look like? How does that differ from what you were taught at PCC? So those are the 2 discussions that you'll have over the term. Then you have these externship evaluations. These are not lab evaluations. These are just externship evaluations. And so these are, Peggy's going to be giving you guys an externship packet with like all of your sheets and things that you need to turn in. I think she's going to give that to you guys this Friday when we meet with you. And 2 of those things in that packet count for this class. So you'll turn these 2 things into me. One of them is a study model evaluation. So you'll be pouring up study models at some point at your externship office, and then someone at your office will grade those or score them for you. So it'll be either the lead assistant that's, you know, kind of supervising you, or the dentist. Somebody will look at your models and they'll just grade you. It's kind of like the objective sheets that we do in lab, but your office will be grading you. And then same thing for temporary crown. So you'll do a temporary crown and they'll score you, and you'll turn those things into me. And then the last thing here, these are the things we're actually going to do during those 2 lab sessions at PCC. So you're going to have 4 competencies that you are going to do. We're going to do soft reline. We're going to do CAD-CAM 2. So this should say CAD-CAM 2 because we did CAD-CAM 1 this term. You'll be doing another CAD-CAM competency. We're going to do endodontic materials, and then you're also going to fabricate your whitening trays. So we all made our, you know, models for whitening trays. We're going to actually fabricate the whitening trays spring term. So these 4 things are the only things you're going to do when we're actually in lab. The rest of this stuff is all stuff that you're going to do on your own outside of lab. So then I want to show you, so this is all the stuff we're going to do. I want to just show you really quickly a brief overview of what the schedule is going to look like. So you have 2 schedules. This is your lab schedule. So you're going to have 2 labs. Like I said, they're 4-hour labs, 9 to 1. So these are the groups and the days, and this matches up with your color schedule here. So your first lab, we're going to review the syllabus once again. We are going to work on CAD-CAM, and we're going to do whitening trays. So those are the 2 things we'll get done during the first lab. And then when you come in for your second lab, we're going to do soft reline and endodontic materials. So those are those 4 competencies or objectives I just talked about. That's what we'll do in lab. And then these are all those other assignments that I talked about. And these are the due dates for those assignments. So like the ODA assignment is the first one. That one, you know, you're going to go to conference week 1, and then you are going to write a paper on it. And then it's due the second week on Friday. So all of these due dates are Fridays at 11:30. All of these things will either be done or submitted on D2L. And the way that this is laid out is these actually all go in order. So you'll just kind of like work your way down this list from the beginning of the term to the end of the term. So I don't want you guys to like stress about this or anything right now. I will send you a copy of the syllabus and information about this first assignment. I'll send that to you guys probably next week. I want to get it to you guys before spring break, just so you have it. And then I'll also send you a reminder first thing week 1, just because you might forget it over spring break. So that's what's going on with this class. Do you have any questions right now about what I've just discussed?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Are we going to be given the assignment like survey of dental materials on Monday, and then that Friday the paper is due?
Nope. You will have access to all of this stuff as soon as the course opens. Well, actually, probably before that, because I'm going to just try to send you all this information. Like I'll send you the syllabus, and then also I have like a separate document that gives the instructions for all 3 of these assignments. And I'll send that to you guys like next week or soon. Yeah.
Okay, so there's going to be everything we're going to be able to do on our own time, just as long as they're turned in on those dates.
Yes, that's correct. And like these 2 discussions, these will be open at the beginning of the term, but the only like requirement to do these discussions is that you do have to actually kind of observe how these processes are done in your office, because if you haven't had an opportunity to observe it, you have nothing to talk about. But by these times, by these due dates, like these due dates are kind of like midterm, you should have had an opportunity to at least either observe or discuss it with someone in your office. And kind of like let's say your office just never pours up models for some reason, like that would be weird, but let's say they just didn't pour up models. And so the excuse is not, hey, I couldn't do this discussion because I never saw a model being poured up. You have the opportunity to go and like talk to your office about, why do they not pour up models very often? What do they do instead? Like what is their process about? So you would have to have like that discussion and then provide some sort of a, discussion write up for it. So by midterm, you should have had that opportunity. Same thing with these dental materials surveys. They also require, the first one is just kind of like it's like an internet-based assignment. Then the second one is actually surveying dental materials in your externship office. And again, by this time, by the 6th, like you'll kind of have a feel for your office and the materials. And so you'll be capable of getting that assignment done by then, probably earlier. And then these evaluations, these are not due till the very last weeks of the term. And you could get them done way earlier than that. Most people usually do, but I just give you till the end of the term, because some offices, like if it's a smaller office, sometimes you just don't have as many opportunities to get things done. So I give you like the whole term just to make sure you have the opportunity. But like if you got these done week 1, great, totally doable. Hope that answers that. Any other questions about this class or anything I've said so far?
I do have a quick question. So for the pouring up model, are we, for externship, are we pouring up like actual patients, like impressions? Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Yep, you will actually be pouring up patient impressions. I don't require you to take impressions as part of your externship. I just require you to pour up the models. You might be taking impressions. Like there's definitely some of you that are going to just jump right in, or your office is going to ask you to, and you're going to take impressions. And that's great, because that's how you learn. Like, it's not like your externship, you're just like standing there observing. Like the point is to like practice and like get your skills up so that when you graduate and you go out into the world, you have a little bit of experience, and you may not feel super comfortable taking impressions, but at least it's familiar and like you've done it before. So you may or may not be taking the impressions, but like, let's say you're working with an assistant and they take impressions. You could be like, hey, can I pour those up? I have an assignment I have to do. So you could take their impressions that they took and go pour them up. And then what this grade is, it's just on the models themselves. Any other questions about that?
I had a question about those first assignments that we have outside of lab.
Uh-huh.
It says turn it into Sheila's box. Is Sheila someone that's
Oh.
going to be an instructor for next term?
No, sorry. See, I changed it down here and I forgot to change it up there. That's why I'm not sending this to you guys yet, because it's not totally finalized yet. So you're gonna turn it into my box, or actually, no, these assignments you're not gonna turn into my box. You're gonna turn these in on D2L. You'll just submit those all in D2L. These externship evaluations, these are actually like physical papers. They're in your externship packet that Peggy's going to give you on Friday. And so you can turn the physical paper in at the front desk and they'll put in my box, or you can just email me a picture of it. So, and I'll make sure you guys know that, but yeah, there's many ways you can give that to me, but no, Sheila is not teaching. She's an old instructor. She won't be here. All right. Other questions?
And for the temporary crown, is that for placing it on the patient or like actual making it?
Making it well, and placing it is part of making it. Like if you're going to be making a temporary crown, you actually make it for the patient, and then you would, as a dental assistant, you're going to place it in their mouth as well. And I'll give you more information about that later. Like, don't freak out about it. I know you guys are like, oh my God, I have to make a temporary crown on a patient. It's gonna be terrible. Everybody thinks that, but it's not that big of a deal. And temporary crowns on real people are actually way easier than doing them in the lab. Trust me. It's weird because you're on a, it's scary because it's a real live patient, but they're actually very easy. But yes, it will be on a real patient and it'll be the whole process. Okay, I'm going to switch back to my PowerPoint here. Okay, so again, I will be sending out an email about all of this. I'll send you the syllabus and the instructions for the assignments, especially that conference assignment. I will send those out. I might do it later this week, but probably next week. I would like you to have it prior to spring break, because I know some of you guys will want to look it over. And then on Monday of week 1, I'm going to send you a reminder. But you want to make sure to kind of look at this. You need to look at it before you go to the conference, because you need to know what it is I'm asking you to do. And know that week 1, you're going to be busy. Like, you're going to come to class on Monday. You guys have labs on Monday of week 1, and then you're in your externship, and you're going to be so like, that is your first week in your externship is very draining, because you're going to be there 3 days a week, all day, Tuesday through Thursday. It's something totally new. It's like a huge stress to anyone, even if you're excited about it, like it's a stress. So you're going to be very exhausted by the time you get to Friday and have to go to the conference. So I would recommend looking at this information like before week 1, because your brain is just going to be fried by the time you get to the conference anyway. And I recognize that. So that's why I'm trying to like get it to you now, while maybe you have like a tiny bit of brain space towards the end of this term. But yeah, so I will send you that information very soon and you will have it. Yeah, and if you have any questions about it, I'm always around, so you can ask me. Okay. So the last thing I want to say is today we're not having, I think Sandy said she was going to send you here's a typo again. Sandy said she was going to send you an email yesterday. I don't know if she did, but she's going to we're not going to have an actual advising session today, but she wants you guys to use that link, the advising session link. And she's going to do her lecture at that time. Okay. So use the required advising link at 11 o'clock today. And Sandy is just going to do her lecture at that time. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. All right. Any questions about anything that you guys have?
I have another question.
Sure.
I do have the CPR after the conference. Do you want me to check in with you that I'm staying till when it's over?
No. So I am going to be at the conference. I'll give you guys information about where I'm going to be, because you guys do have to come and like physically look me in the eye to check in for attendance. So I'll be in there. Usually it's like, there's this coffee shop and I'm like, meet me by the coffee shop. And I'll be there early. So just all you have to do is just come say hi to me. check in with me. I'll see that you're there. I mark you as there. You guys have to go to the class that you signed up for, and then you have to go to the exhibit hall. Usually what people do is they'll go to the class, then they'll check out the exhibit hall kind of during the lunch hour. Sometimes students like get together and go out to lunch and things like that. That's great. And then the afternoons, I think, yes, some of you guys may have signed up for the CPR. That's great. You may have signed up for something else. You may just want to leave. It's totally up to you. The afternoon is yours to do what you want with. But no, you don't have to like check out with me or anything like that. All you have to do is check in with me at the beginning of the day. I assume you're going to do the things you're supposed to do because you kind of have to. And then, yeah, that's all we need.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I was going to say, oh, last thing I was going to say. So I don't know if Peggy sent an email about this or anything, but so this Friday, you guys know we have clinic cleanup. So you guys are going to come. We're actually going to be meeting in the large classroom first thing. And Peggy's going to talk about externship stuff. So she's going to hand you guys your packets. We're going to go over some details about externships, answer questions that you guys might have. And then after we meet about that, we're going to divide you guys up. You're going to go to the different labs. So clinic, radiology, or dental materials. And then we have a bunch of like cleaning tasks for you guys to do. So I'll be in the dental materials lab. So the group that comes to my lab, I'm just going to tell you what you need to do. And it's going to be like lots of cleanup stuff. And we will be done by, I think Peggy said 1 at the latest, hopefully earlier. It just depends on how efficiently everyone works, but we'll get everything all cleaned up and then you guys will be done for the day. So if you have any questions about that, I would email Peggy because she's kind of leading that whole thing. But do you guys have any questions about that right now?
I just had a question on, we're wearing scrubs to the cleanup.
I would recommend that. You don't have to wear scrubs, but like you're going to be like cleaning. Some of you guys are going to be probably like Peggy's going to have you guys like on the floor, like wiping down the bottoms of the chairs and stuff. Like I wouldn't wear nice clothes. I'd wear something comfortable. For me, scrubs are comfortable, you know, and you can get them dirty. If you're in the lab, you might be like getting gypsum and alginate on you if I have you doing something, I don't know. So just a recommendation, but you can, yeah, you can wear whatever you want. It just might get dirty and you want to be comfortable.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. Well, I will let you guys go and get on with your day. I will be posting this online for, I think most people are here, but yeah, I'll post this and I'll send you guys some information very soon about the classes for next term. And let me know if you guys need anything from me and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.